everybody, and welcome to day 36. On this day 36, I wanted to talk to you about something that I discovered in my, I'm not going to say my whole 50 years, but something that I discovered much later on in life, and that to me it made so much sense, but it's like it takes a really bold it takes a really maybe a really confident person to be able to live in this realm. And what I'm speaking of is that I'm speaking in the realm of being a misfit. I've listened to some sermons and different things, and one of the things that T.D. Jakes stated was that God loves a misfit. We grow into this life where we live in this thing of we work hard to fit in, never to fit out. It is just something that we're just grown into. It is trying to keep up with the Joneses, and being embarrassed about certain things that people believe we should have, because then if we don't have that which they have identified for us, then to them we are a misfit. So it takes a lot of confidence, and it takes a lot to be a misfit. God loves a misfit. It's it's interesting because I felt this was so befitting to me. You know, um, in life, people have defined for us what they believe is progression. And what I mean by that is that people will say that by a certain age and certain so forth, you should have this, you should have achieved this, you should have done that. This is their identity of what they believe you should have done or should have achieved. And if you have it, the way they look at you and they say you are a misfit because you haven't done that. It takes a really positive, self confident person to live in that position and be okay with it. Some people will say, "Oh, I really don't care what people think and this and that and the other." I mean, you may not. A huge percentages may not. But the thing is, if you think about it, because we focus so much I'll give you a perfectly good example. Apple products and the iPhones, right? We literally live in a society where if we do not get the latest iPhone, we just kind of feel out of the loop. We feel like we're not in the know. We feel like a misfit, right? Because we don't have the latest. And isn't it funny how, God forbid, you're one of those people that has like an iPhone 6 and they're on 10 and they're looking at what? Like, what. And it takes a real confident person to be able to say, well, this one still works. Like, why do I need to get the latest one? But we live in this realm of we've got to have this, got to have that. Now, I'll give you another example of being cool with being a misfit. So it was no secret about now going on 3 years, I obtained a pretty well job, making an amazing salary and so forth. And the first thing people do is say, "Oh, are you moving? Are you buying a car? Are you doing it?" Because to them, what's connected with a new salary is I should then therefore meet their requirements and go into debt and buy a new home, get a car, and all this kind of stuff, because this is what society believes, that if you don't, you are a misfit. But what if you were confident in your own decisions and didn't feel the need to fit in with anyone, no matter what it was? Like, I mean, I tell you, like, honestly, like, I got quite a bit of backlash from people because I don't have a car. And I remember being on the dating scene where some men sometimes had something to say because I didn't have a car. Like, to them, a woman of my age, my job position, and so forth, to them, I should have a vehicle. To them, I should have a vehicle. So because they shunned upon me and looking like a misfit, to them, it's like, oh, that could be an issue. And so I realized that my confidence level actually got bigger and bigger because I was like, yeah, I'm cool. Like I'm cool with not having that. But it's like some people just feel the need or feel this situation where, you know, you should be this or you should have this and that. It's usually with the materialistic things. Um, I'm going to say, yeah, it's usually more with the materialistic things where people put you in these categories of where you should be. And women do it too. Like, I mean, let's be honest. Like, we'll look at a guy, and if he's at a certain point in his life, we don't give him a chance to explain. We just automatically prejudge him as a misfit because he doesn't have this or he doesn't have that. Meanwhile, he could be the best thing you've ever met in your life, but because we've stuck him in this misfit category, it doesn't allow us to seek anything further or hear anything further because we just see them as this, yeah, no. But what if you were comfortable with it and really defended yourself in a positive light? And I've done this. I've done this with the whole situation of me not having a vehicle, because people will comment, oh, I don't see how you get on a bus every day. Very easy. And I'm gonna be honest with you. This may not sound right, but I guess this is the point of the funny part about being a misfit. I love it. I like being around people every day. Like seeing different people every day, being amongst the city and being in public transportation, just seeing what's going on. I don't have a problem with it. I really actually don't. And unfortunately for me, if I did get a car, it would sit 5 days a week. So in my mind, because I want to remodel my house, and here's the thing, I don't owe an explanation to no goddamn body why I choose not to have a car. It is my choice. It is my choice to be a misfit in that regard because I'm not, fitting the bill of what people believe I should be. And I love it. I love being in the freedom. And I tell you what I've had on the opposite end. I've had tons of people say, I wish I could. Because I hear people a lot of times, oh, I got to get this done, I got to get that done. They're not in a position where they could be without a vehicle. It's just like that sometimes for some people, which I do understand that. But it's just interesting because I remember in my younger years of growing up and being brought up in this position of where people will your parents or anyone that brought you up, they put you on this track of what you should be doing by this point and where you should be and what you should have and all this kind of stuff. And you should fit in with this crowd and be this way. Because what you learned all your life and most of your life is it is rough to be a misfit. It is a hard thing. In the Bible we hear about the story of the Apostle Paul. And if you ever, if you're into the Bible in that regard, you learn about him being a misfit, and he was the misfit of the apostles. He was the misfit that nobody could get, but he was the one, and his commitment was to God was greater than any other. But he was considered a misfit, and this is why we hear this thing of God loves a misfit. But it's like we sometimes have a tendency to look down on others when they don't fit the bill of what we believe they should be. When actually you should be looking at them like, damn, that's some confident ass people. Right? Because it takes a strong person, a confident person to be able to live in the realm of something that no one else is doing. It does. It takes an amazingly positive, confident person to do that. And I am proud to be a misfit because I think I've achieved something that some people don't have the nerve to do. So it's a cool thing. Let me tell you my whole take on a car. I get a car when, God blesses me with one. How about that? I just don't, I just can't see myself as a person that has a very little mortgage balance and wants to remodel my house, want to travel and do all that kind of stuff. I can't see myself paying that money every month for something that's going to sit there 5 days a week. But I don't need to explain myself to nobody of me choosing to not fit the realm of what everyone else sees. same goes for like either the things you eat and like I tell you, it's amazing how I've been a person that's been working diligently to stick to a vegan diet. And it's not an easy process. I'm now down to fish. I'm starting to look at chicken a little like I'm so it takes a strong person to turn into a misfit, because I'm gonna tell you, people see vegans as misfit, right? Because you quote unquote don't eat meat and a whole bunch of other stuff. But I realize not only how hard and difficult it is to be in that element of turning into a vegan, but how amazingly people shun and look upon you as a misfit because you choose to do it. It is amazing. I have an amazing girlfriend, co-worker she's an amazing woman, been a vegan for years. And it's amazing the story she shared with me and how much backlash she gets from people because she's choosing that diet. And when in the end result of it is this, it's not so much, see, people will always make fun or shun or say something negative because they don't have the balls to be able to do what you do. And it comes with anything that you are doing that others dare not to do, you become the misfit. It is an amazing, it is a very, more and more I think about it right now, it is a very uplifting position to be in. I love it because I feel like I've got a little sense of power more than you, because I'm bold enough to do it. I'm bold enough to go ahead and get on a bus every day because I'm cool with it. It's you that got the problem with it. Or I'm cool with choosing not to eat beef and pork and chicken and all. I'm cool with it. It's you that got the problem. So then it's almost like maybe I'm not the one that's the misfit. Maybe it's you. So think about this and everything that you're doing in 2019 and thus on. Think about the stuff that you want to do, but you think people will kind of shun on you a little bit because you're going to be seen as a misfit to them. Be bold enough to do it. I'll tell you another thing where we've seen in a lot of cases is where, women are a little forgiving on this. When we date, we cool with a guy having a little pouch or different things like that. There's a lot of men out there that actually like a plus size woman or a woman that's a bigger size or whatever, but they will shun and stay away from them because they are too afraid of what other people will think. They're too afraid to get in the position of being a misfit, so therefore they just stick with it. So it's interesting. In 2019, don't be afraid to be a misfit. Go into it. Wear it on a t-shirt. Do something different that other people dare you never do. What if you approach something as a misfit? What if? All right, you guys. See you tomorrow.